Melly was arrested 53 months ago for the murder of his friends, YNW Sackchaser and YNW Juvie. During his trial that began on June 12, 2023, the prosecutor presented a YNW Melly's disturbing video that was recorded shortly after his friends died. Disturbing evidence. On February 12, 2019, the popular Florida rapper Jamel Demons, known by his stage name YNW Melly, faced charges for 2 acts of first-degree murder. Authorities claimed that he and fellow rapper and friend YNW Bortland were involved in the murders of 2 of their acquaintances. They were accused of carefully staging the crime scene to make it look like a drive-by shooting. Melly turned himself in on February 13th, a day after he was charged. His trial began in June 2023 in Florida, where Melly strongly pleaded his innocence against all the charges. However, his claim of innocence is not surprising, given he knew he could be sentenced to death if found guilty. In a piece of video evidence presented during his trial, Melly was seen in a video shoot hours after the death of his friends. The video is evidence from social media, specifically Facebook Live. It shows Melly and later Bortland at a gathering in Melbourne, Florida. At some point in the video, Bortland looks lost in thought with his head down, and Melly comes over to cheer him up and make the mood lighter. The woman who recorded the video could be heard saying Melly was still excited and energetic, regardless of what happened earlier that morning. After losing 2 of his best friends only a few hours earlier, many found this video very disturbing. This video reminds us of an equally disturbing situation when XXXTentacion killers were caught on camera celebrating with his money. In Melly's case, that wasn't the only time he displayed disturbing behavior. In a genius video of him explaining the lyrics to his hit song, Murder on My Mind, Melly was briefly silent after saying the lyrics human murderer. He happens to drag his eyes a bit on the camera, and little did he know that this particular moment would gain immense popularity on the internet later on.
I murdered a vagina and I murdered a bee. I am not no human murderer.
It is almost as if his mouth is saying something, but his eyes are saying something totally different. Just a month before his arrest, at 19 years old, he released his mixtape, We All Shine, which featured Kanye West. Also, his song, Murder on My Mind, had already achieved gold certification in 2017. Surprisingly, the legal troubles helped his music gain more popularity. Since his arrest, Murder on My Mind has been certified 6 times platinum in the United States and earned further platinum certifications in Australia, Portugal, Denmark, and the United Kingdom. Now, at 24 years old, he finds himself in the courtroom, defending against accusations of murdering his friends. Let's take a brief look at Melly's remarkable journey, from sharing freestyles on SoundCloud to collaborating with influential artists like Kanye West and Young Thug, only to face a trial that could determine his involvement in the tragic deaths of his friends. Jamel Maurice Demons was born on May 1st, 1999. His mother became pregnant at the young age of 14. She shared this information in a Melly documentary that was posted online in late 2018. During the documentary, she revealed that Melly was born when she was just in the 9th grade. YNW Melly had an early passion for rap and music in general. In interviews and the documentary, he discusses how he looked up to artists like Michael Jackson and Chris Brown during his childhood. He also shares a story from 4th grade about finding a gun under his uncle's couch and how he used to carry it with him everywhere, even to school. At 16, Melly had a legal issue that became a frequent topic of media attention. As reported by a local newspaper, he faced charges of committing 3 acts of serious assault and an act of firing a gun in a public place. Allegedly, he discharged a firearm in the direction of 3 fellow students near their school. After this particular event, Melly said that the idea for his song Murder on My Mind came to him while he was in confinement. He mentioned that he slept, and when he woke up, the chorus was already there. At 15, he had already begun sharing freestyles on SoundCloud using his birth name. In 2016, he made the transition to his current stage name. The YNW Collective, which stands for Young World, is the artist group that includes 3 of his close companions: Anthony Williams, also known as YNW Sackchaser, Christopher Thomas Jr., known as Juvie, and Cotlin Henry, known as YNW Bortland. However, in situations where swearing is not allowed, like on television, they use Young New Wave instead. Melly's difficulties with the legal system persist. While the exact circumstances are not fully disclosed, he mentioned on Facebook on April 15, 2017, that he was under home detention. On his 18th birthday, May 1st, he expressed remorse to his fans, stating that he would be confined in a level 6 program for 6 months due to his music's negative influence. Melly emphasized that he did it for his supporters and promised a swift return. Then, on June 23rd, he declared that he would surrender himself. In a pre-arrest interview, Melly informed Billboard that prosecutors had utilized his song Murder on My Mind as evidence against him. He said he was on probation in 2017, but he isn't anymore. During that period, Murder on My Mind was released for approximately 7 months, but he had been in and out of jail multiple times for minor offenses. Despite facing legal troubles, Melly continues to pursue his hip-hop career. In 2017, he joined forces with a manager and released the Collect Call EP on Christmas Day. The EP features notable collaborations with John Wicks, the older brother of Kodak Black, as well as Lil B, a pioneer of cloud rap from Northern California. Notably, the record was made accessible on Spotify a week before its official release. Fast forward to January 7th, 2018, and Melly's song Murder on My Mind has surpassed 1 million streams on YouTube. On February 25th, 2018, Melly was released from jail once again. He then decides to move to Miami, as mentioned in the documentary and interviews. During this time, Melly became popular for his successful shows and the release of his new music video, Melly the Menace. Possession of weapon or ammunition by a convicted felon, and possession of drug paraphernalia. It is interesting to note that his fellow rapper, YNW Melly, was arrested along with him. According to court records, the state attorney's office determined that there was not enough evidence to fully prove the weapon charge. Additionally, the drug charges were reduced to misdemeanors. On August 3rd, 2018, Melly released his first full-length project titled I Am You. The project includes various songs like Murder on My Mind, Blue Balenciagas, and a tribute to his mother called Mama Cry. Melly collaborated with rapper T Grizzly, and together they released tracks such as Freddy Krueger. On October 26, 2018, YNW Melly allegedly shot and killed two of his friends, YNW Juvie and YNW Sack Chaser, in Miramar, Florida. The police reported that they arrived at the hospital but had already succumbed to their injuries. Let's rewind to the day of the incident and explore how a day that began with the loss of his friends led to him being present at a music video shoot. Before the video shoot, on October 26th, a video captured YNW Melly, YNW Melly, YNW Sack Chaser, and YNW Juvie departing from New Era Studio in Fort Lauderdale. They were traveling in an SUV. Bortland was behind the wheel, with Melly behind him on the left, and Sack Chaser and Juvie on the right. Melly. The murders took place in a remote area close to a waste treatment facility and the Everglades. Sack Chaser suffered gunshot wounds to his chest, right shoulder, and head, while Juvie was wounded multiple times in his head and back. The men were shot from different angles, both from the back and left. Inside the SUV, Sack Chaser was shot in his face. Melly, who was sitting on the rear side, allegedly fired the shot. The police discovered an empty bullet casing in a plastic bag on the passenger floorboard of the Jeep, and this casing matched the ones found on Pembroke Road by the Broward Sheriff's Crime Lab. Based on the evidence, Sack Chaser and Juvie were shot inside the Jeep, as there was a lot of blood where they were sitting. Melly and Bortland then got out of the Jeep and fired shots from outside. Surprisingly, 8 bullets hit the Jeep from the right passenger side, but the wounds on the victims didn't match any of these bullet paths. During the crime scene search, a police officer and a dog found 8.40 caliber shell casings and glass fragments on the road's shoulder. After the killings, Melly and Bortland drove around with the bodies in the Jeep. Melly left the Jeep at 4:32 a.m., as confirmed by his cell phone records. Later, another individual drove him away from the area. Bortland arrived at the hospital 3 minutes later and informed a police officer that Sack Chaser and Juvie had been victims of a drive-by shooting. Tragically, the doctors pronounced them dead. According to Bortland, when they were near the exit close to Dykes Road, a vehicle pulled up beside them and someone started shooting. To protect himself from the bullets, Bortland promptly dropped to the floor. Upon realizing his friends had been shot, he immediately rushed to the hospital for assistance. However, the police searched Miramar Parkway and discovered no evidence supporting Bortland's version of events. Furthermore, emergency services in Broward and Miami-Dade counties did not receive any reports of gunfire. It was clear at that point that Bortland's account of the incident is most likely false. Now, the biggest question is, why did Melly want his friends dead? The exact explanation for why Melly may have killed his friends Juvie and Sack Chaser is not fully clear. Many people have speculated about the possible reasons. One theory suggests it might have been because of financial issues. Melly might have been tired of financially supporting them, especially since he became the most successful member of their group. Another rumor suggests there were tensions between Melly and Sack Chaser, which may have led to the violent act. Sack Chaser's behavior was said to be dominating and bullying, with even threats against Melly's mother being reported. While some of these ideas could be true, most of them are just groundless guesses. The police believe that Melly is responsible for the deaths of both his friends, but the exact motive remains unknown. Juvie's dad believes that a disagreement stemmed from their plans to sell the YNW brand for licensing and marketing. According to him, Melly wanted more money than the others, which may have resulted in a deadly confrontation. Juvie's father has always thought Melly was responsible for his son's death on October 26th. He is certain of this based on the accused individual's behavior and mannerisms. When Juvie's dad spoke to Melly and Cortland via FaceTime, he observed that they didn't show remorse or seem to be grieving. In fact, they appeared to be in good spirits. Additionally, they never visited the town or attended his son's funeral. After Bortland Portland gave his statement to law enforcement on the day of the incident, he must have gone looking for Melly, and they went to a video shoot location together. Some people believe that individuals react differently to unfortunate incidents. On the other hand, others questioned why someone would appear cheerful and excited in public just a few hours after their friend's death. There are others who believe his behavior was due to dissociative identity disorder, as he often discussed multiple personalities in his videos and interviews. Let's take a look at some of those instances. Melly's bipolar history. In a video, Bootleg Kev and DJ Head Melly from Thrill 92 interview YNW Melly. They talk about different things like his music, legal problems, collaborations, influences, and personal experiences. The interview starts with Kevin and DJ Head welcoming YNW Melly and praising his happiness and financial success. They discuss how YNW Melly's song Murder on My Mind caused trouble with his probation, leading to him being on papers. YNW Melly shares how he managed to avoid probation violations until he got caught because of the song. They also talk about how music videos can impact legal issues. Next, they discuss YNW Melly's collaboration with Kanye West on the song Mixed Personality.
And then you obviously, you got locked up recently, and then you come out and you drop this record with Kanye, which is crazy because, following you for a while, like, I didn't expect that shit. How did that happen? Did he reach out to you? How'd the Kanye feature come to be?
YNW Melly shares how Kanye discovered his music in Paris and invited him to LA for a joint project.
Played my music for him in Paris, and he was like, yeah, fly him to LA and work on some shit. And I ain't believe it at first, but then I realized he was for real.
They bond over Kanye's multiple personalities, which YNW Melly can relate to due to his own diagnosis of bipolar disorder and ADHD.
I mixed personality too, though. I was like, damn, I relate. I actually relate to him, so I'm like.
When asked which version of Kanye he got, he said he got both. He said Kanye jumped on his song because he felt a deep connection to the song.
Which version of Kanye did you get? Like, you know what I'm asking.
I think I got both though, cause it was, I don't know. That's a good ass question, cause he was like, yeah, man, this is me, man. This is my life. I gotta get on the song, man. Yay, Yeezy.
YNW Melly opens up about being prescribed Ritalin and Adderall during his school days, which resulted in certain incidents leading to his time in a juvenile detention center. In another interview with Nyla Simone, a host from Power 105.1, Melly discussed various topics, and he also touched on his different personalities. They discussed Melly's new song, Mixed Personalities, featuring Kanye West and its music video, which includes robots with 3 heads. Melly explains that the robots represent different personalities.
It's basically different, like 3 heads. 3 different personalities.
Nyla Simone also explores Melly's multiple personalities.
How many personalities do you have?
6.
6?
Yeah.
What are the 6?
I can only reveal 3.
Wait, why?
Because the other 3 aren't going to be able to be released until next year.
He revealed having 6, but only 3 are currently known to the public. Marcus, YNW Melly, the rapper, and Melvin.
So tell me the 3.
You got Marcus, you got YNW Melly, the rapper. You got Melvin, but Melvin just started rapping too.
He explained how each persona is different and serves a specific purpose.
What are the 3 personas? Like, what's different about each one?
Melvin don't play no game.
Okay.
The show, he on your ass. Melly, he just, he cool, he funny. Marcus, he the one, like, I be in disguise. Like, if I got, like, the shades on
Okay.
and a hat, and you can't really tell who I am, and I'm doing some regular people shit.
When talking to Montreality, Melly shares insights about Melly and Melvin's behavior. He said Melly is Michael Jackson.
Can't say too much. But Melvin, Melly is loving, genuine, turned up, happy, and just loving, you know what I'm saying? Michael Jackson. Melly is Michael Jackson. But he, to an extent, he know how to control his anger.
Melly believes that Melvin might be dangerous and suggests that he should prevent Melvin from coming out.
Melvin, I only let him out at nighttime. And I need to stop doing that. Melvin is just like, once you play with Melly to a certain extent, Melvin just don't like that. Melvin on your ass. No cap. He on your ass. He don't play.
In the Genius video explaining the lyrics to his song, Murder on My Mind, he also talked about the connection between Melvin and the song's title.
Like Melvin, my other person inside, Melvin, that motherfucker, yeah, every day, all day. That's all he be thinking about. Some people think about when they wake up. Some people think about shoes. Some people think about weird shit. And go with the murder on his mind.
In an interview with Complex just before turning himself in, he revealed that Melvin is not a made-up character. He's a real person with distinct traits. Melly represents his playful and affectionate side, showing love to others and being loved in return. On the other hand, Melvin plays a protective role, keeping Melly safe from bad influences and the wrong crowd. Despite their different roles, both personalities share a passion for music. He said Melvin and Melly were working together on an album. However, he hadn't decided when to release it, hinting that he might make the world wait until the following year for its debut. The concepts of his two most notable personalities would be heavily featured in his first studio album, Melly vs. Melvin, which dropped 9 months after his interview with Complex. Melly's music draws fans because it reflects his life, and recent events have brought even more attention to his songs. When news of the double murder charges emerged, devoted fans eagerly analyzed the lyrics of his songs Murder on My Mind and Mind on My Murder. Some fans interpreted Murder on My Mind as a confession, unaware that it was recorded 2 years before the tragic shooting of Sack Chaser and Juvie. Shortly after Melly's first court hearing for the double murder case, a touching video called Mama Cry is uploaded to his YouTube channel. The video features emotional scenes of Melly in an orange prison jumpsuit and his mother, Jamie King, tearfully reacting to her son's incarceration. He has been in prison for over 4 years, and during this time, numerous pieces of evidence have emerged indicating his involvement in the crime. Let's examine some of them. More damning evidence. During his trial, after weeks of preparation, prosecutor Christine Bradley shared an Instagram conversation between Melly and PZ Gambino. On October 26, 2018, PZ Gambino expressed concern for Melly's well-being. Melly's response on Instagram was, "I did that. Shh." However, the defense attorney attempted to raise doubt about the alleged confession by presenting 19 pages of text messages where Melly spelled that as dat. To challenge this argument, Bradley used a song by the rapper called Melly Fix That as evidence, showing how the word was spelled conventionally in the lyrics. Additionally, the state revealed a surprising Snapchat message about Bortland that was sent during an argument between Melly and his ex-girlfriend. This led to the speculation that Melly was loyal to Bortland because he drove the dead bodies of their victims to the hospital. During the trial, prosecutors showed a video of Melly entering a gray Jeep at 2 a.m. with the two victims and YNW Bortland after they left a recording studio. Afterward, the Jeep is seen arriving at the hospital without Melly. Now, let's discuss what Melly is doing in the video while getting into the Jeep. There are two significant points to consider. Firstly, he's accompanied by Bortland, and both of them enter the car from the driver's side. This is important because investigators found that the shots that caused damage and even death were fired from inside the car, specifically from the left side, while the victims were on the right side. In the video, and according to the cell phone data, Melly can be observed using a cell phone, which is not in his favor since this phone is crucial evidence. It's worth noting that this phone's data showed it was in the car with the victim's phone. Additionally, Bortland did not bring the victim's phone to the hospital after the shooting. Instead, Melly instructed a friend to retrieve the phone near the murder scene by dropping a pin. Moreover, the police got access to the same phone using the passcode given by Melly's mother when he was in jail after the arrest. Therefore, the phone being linked to the crime scene, and Melly's actions all harm his chances of being proven innocent. Melly's defense claims that since other people sometimes use the phone, it's unclear which phone he's holding in the video. However, this argument is unlikely to be convincing. The video places Melly in the car with the victim shortly before their deaths, positioning him at the crime scene during that specific time. Without the footage of him entering the Jeep, Melly could have claimed to be in a different car, spending more time at the studio, or leaving earlier. While the video shows when Melly was with the victims, it's not perfect evidence. There are still valid arguments, like the possibility of him being dropped off or picked up before any violence happened. Authorities also claim that the murders were carried out for the benefit of a criminal gang. They asked an expert on gangs, Danny Polo, to investigate Melly's alleged connection with the G Shine Bloods group. However, the prosecutors haven't explained how the gang benefited from these killings. Polo, an undercover worker for the Broward Sheriff's Office, said that Melly is skilled at using gang signs from G Shine, and he even shows them in videos. Melly has been seen in many pictures with known gang members and uses letters other than C in his messages, hinting at a connection with the group. During the trial, the prosecutor showed photos of Melly making gang signs, and Polo confirmed this. The detective also decoded texts with G-Shine blood slang. According to Polo's testimony, some of Melly's songs imply he is a member of the Blood Set. Polo believed Melly's connection to G-Shine was authentic, and noted that it's one of the more violent blood sets. There's also DNA evidence that proved his involvement in the shooting. Kurt Rhodes, a DNA analyst from the BSO, examined various items found in the SUV, like a water bottle, Gucci slides, a spent shell casing, and blood stains on clothing and a pair of Jordans. Jordans. The DNA on these objects did not belong to the rapper. However, during his testimony, Rhodes revealed that DNA potentially belonging to Melly was detected on the rear passenger side door handle of the Jeep. In the first test, there was no clear link between Melly and the door handle, but a subsequent test conducted just a few days before the trial began on June 1st showed a possible match. While this evidence points towards Melly being convicted and possibly getting the death penalty, it should also be noted that his defense team has some interesting things to say during the trial. They argued that the investigation was poorly done, leaving room for doubt. They say there's no clear motive and the evidence relied only on cell phone data. The lead detective focused too much on building a strong case against Melly, which caused them to miss other important leads. For instance, Melly's co-defendant, YNW Melly, lied multiple times about the shooting and had gunpowder residue on his hands, but the police didn't search his home. The detectives ignored witnesses who confessed to the murders on social media. The defense also criticized the way the police handled the crime scene. Initially, they thought the shooting happened at a waste facility, but later, evidence showed it was inside a Jeep. The defense suggests that the police rushed to close the case without thoroughly investigating all the leads. Therefore, they request a mistrial. The request for a mistrial was approved, and Judge John Murphy III scheduled the start of the second trial for October 9th, 2023. Most of the first trial was kind of uneventful, but we can only hope that October brings a clearer decision in Melly's case.